Hi, I'm Jeff Stokes. Welcome to Jeff's Daily Dose of Encouragement. Today I'm going to read the famous verses from Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 to 8, which was, as the older generation may know, was written into a beautiful song years ago that used to be played on the airwaves. And I'm going to read that and just say a little bit afterwards. From verse 1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time to war, a time of war, and a time of peace. And I'm in a situation at the moment whereby a situation has happened and I feel like I'm in a bit of a quandary as to whether I should say something or not. But I have spoken to someone about the situation and they said they will deal with it. So I'm in a situation whereby there's a time to keep silence or a time to speak, and I believe I was led to this for exactly that situation. And sometimes we want to say something, but maybe it's better not to, because it will just cause trouble. But there's all sorts of things in there. These days I know that says there's a time to hate, and we're not supposed to hate. But what King Solomon, who I believe wrote this, is saying that there's a time for everything, and we need to just discern what's the right thing to do in this situation. It may not be wise to always do one thing, and it may be better to hold back and just be, just discern the sign of the time, if you like, which is what Jesus said, wasn't it? Discern this time, the sign of the time, and what is needed in the situation, and not just keep going down the same old track. So anyway, I just want to encourage you with those words and to meditate on and let the Lord speak to you about what's in there for you. For me, as I said, it's verse 7, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Sometimes an old friend of mine used to say to me, keep your powder dry. In other words, you might have something that you feel like you need to say, but it might not be the right time to say it, because it will just cause all sorts of trouble. So, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwells in him and he in God. And just another thought is, of course, that King Solomon lived in Old Testament times when they had war and they had enemies and things like that, and they were operating under a different covenant and things like that. And so you've got to keep that in mind as into the context of what some of these things are saying. Anyway, God bless you. Have a wonderful day.